System primed.
Hi, this is Gaz, Design Manager at 11, here to talk a little bit about Frozen Synapse Prime on Vita. In previous videos posted online, we've looked at some of the basic and quick strategies in the game, as well as some of the basic features, as well as multiplayer and the campaign itself. So I'm here to introduce some of the more advanced strategies, commands and tactics, as well as a little bit of a recap on some of the general gameplay and touch controls. So I'll go over some of the basics again very quickly, and then get onto some of the advanced stuff. This is an extermination match type I've set up against the AI here, so classic deathmatch essentially. Not all of the match types involve wiping out the other team, but that's going to be the strategy for this one. So here I can move the camera very easily with touch controls. Here I can pan anywhere by simply touching and dragging on the screen. I can also use pinch motions to zoom in and out anywhere on the screen as well, to perhaps zoom into a specific area of the map. I can also touch any unit to select them, either on my squad or the enemy squad. So I'll show you how easy it is to lay down and recap, laying effective plans down in just a few seconds for any unit. So here I have a shotgunner unit selected there, so to add waypoints I simply double tap like that. I can get rid of waypoints with the undo button, and I can also tap and hold to drag any waypoints there. If I want to preview that, I simply open the time bar, see what happened, and there the enemy's rocket launcher is going to be toast thanks to my shotgunner. So if I open the time bar again to preview that turn, you'll see that the shotgunner by default aims along the path that he's running along. So simply by adding waypoints like that, I'll add another one towards the other enemy shotgunner, preview that to see what might happen. Literally in a few seconds I've created quite an effective plan that I can then modify and of course lay other commands on top of. Let's say I wanted the shotgunner to aim in a specific direction, so by default he'll aim along that path he's going to walk along, but let's say for some reason I was wanting him to cover this doorway there. I can add an aim there. I want him to aim at this doorway. If I preview that, you'll see what happens. So there, even though he walks along his path, he kind of strafes, and he's covering that doorway as he walks. Here I have another example of how I might take out this enemy shotgunner here with my shotgunner there. So I've created a plan where I'm going to try to flank around him there, but I'll show you the slide command next. The slide command is in the bottom right hand corner. It essentially enables me to lock the path of my units, but then move any waypoint along it. So if I try it without that, I can drag this waypoint there and you can see the aim command moving. What the slide command lets you do is lock that path and then slide the waypoint along the path, and obviously any commands that are applied to it as well. So I think he's probably aiming a bit too soon there, so I could slide it to the point that I think he'll get a good aim on him. I can use this different scenario I've set up here to talk about another cool feature in Frozen Synapse Prime, which is the ability to assign plans to the enemy squad as well, to see what might happen if they go a certain way or make a certain plan, and will my plan still work with that scenario. So here we can see that my rocket launcher has a pretty good shot of a few of the units there, and if I preview what might happen here, I could potentially take out 3 of his guys in one go, but of course that's only what might happen. It's very likely that the enemy's not going to stand completely still. If it was another human opponent, they're probably going to expect that, and even the advanced AI would as well. So I want to try and cover all my bases, assuming that the units that are going to get killed there in the explosion are going to probably try to get away. So I can simulate that strategy very simply just by giving some plans to the enemy units. You can give any plans that you can give to your squad to the enemy to see what might happen in these kind of what-if scenarios. So let's assume that the rocket launchers and the grenadiers want to get away from this explosion, so the best chance is just to run away. So if I create a few waypoints like that, can they avoid that explosion? Let's preview and find out. Not quite. Try again. Maybe if this rocket launcher runs at a lower angle. I don't think the rocket launcher in the middle there is going to get away from this, but there's a chance that the other rocket launcher and the grenadier could potentially escape if they run away. So how do I kind of cover that from happening? Well, I'll have a look at my other units and see how we can work together. So there's a shotgun up here. If I make him run there, make him aim that direction, commit that. So that's that base covered. The rocket launcher doesn't have much chance of escape there, but the grenadier can still get away. But I have a unit over here, assault rifle unit. If I select him, simply make him aim in this direction, hopefully I'll be able to cover that with a few very, very simple and quick plans. Let's see what might happen. Play that again. I've got full control of the time bar to play, pause. That looks like a good plan. No escape. So I think I'm reasonably happy with that plan there I've created quite quickly. So I'm going to prime this turn, then move on to the next turn. The prime button's up there in the top right hand corner, and the game will essentially combine my plans with the opponent's plans, either obviously in this case the AI or a human opponent, and play out the resulting outcome when the plans combine in all kinds of crazy firefights, units getting killed, explosions, all kind of carnage. So let's go ahead and watch that. And Frozen Synapse Prime is about all these kind of mind games between two opponents, and wants you to outwit, outsmart and outthink your opponent and predict what they might do next. And the best way to do that is, as demonstrated, being able to assign different plans to them. I only created some very basic ones there, but effective as well. But you can layer on as many different commands as you want to the enemy to see what they might do next, and then try and cover all those different bases and scenarios. So here I am now in the aftermath of turn 1, and that worked out pretty well, as expected. I even unlocked a trophy, which was completely unscripted, but all good. I'm sure there's probably more trophies going to be unlocking in this build as we go on. So yeah, as I hoped, firing the rocket into that room did manage to eliminate most of the units there. Again, the rocket guy over here that tried to escape got took down by my shotgunner there, so it worked out pretty well. I can open the time bar again and preview any turn from the match. So if I do that, I can watch that again. In addition to that, I can also watch any of the kill cams, so if I wanted to see what happened to this rocket launcher that tried to escape, I can simply just select him. And there we go, into the kill cam. And the shotgunner took the other guy out. In this scenario here, it should be a great example to introduce some of the targeting, which is another advanced command in Frozen Synapse Prime. So I have my sniper here, who's you can see he's covering a long range. His cone of vision is the widest in the game, and he's covering this corner quite nicely there. And there's 3 enemy units there. There's an assault rifle unit, a sniper, and a shotgunner. And what I'm going to do is use the targeting command to only target specific units. The reason for that is that the shotgunner there, you can see his cone of vision is relatively small and his range is quite short, so he's not a threat to me at the moment. But the other 2 enemy units, the assault rifle guy and of course the enemy sniper, have much longer range, so I want to try and target those guys and ignore the enemy shotgunner. So the way that I can do that is with the targeting command. So if I open up the commands wheel and select targeting there, okay, essentially my sniper guy's got a good range here and he's pinning those guys down, but because he has a bit of a longer reload time than some of the units, I can't kill them all at once. So obviously I want to take out the ones that are the biggest threat first, which are the ones that can hit me essentially. So that's the assault rifle unit there and the sniper. So I want to ignore the shotgunner. There's a few ways to do that. I can quickly select the room he's stood in, just simply by tapping on the room there. Now he's focusing on that room. If I tap again, my sniper rifle unit is ignoring that room there. If I want to delete the zone, I can simply delete it with the undo button in the bottom left corner. Again, I'm focusing on him, I'm ignoring him, and then the zone's gone there. You can also use the targeting command to draw your own zones as well. So there, I've drawn a zone there. Say if there was a unit stood in that zone. and I can change that to focus and ignore and delete. Let's first see what might happen if I wasn't going to use any targeting commands here. So I've opened the time bar to preview the turn, and I've given the enemy shotgunner there and the assault rifle unit very basic plans here with these waypoints just to make them run out of that room. So essentially the sniper rifle unit on my squad has this area covered quite well, but he'll only target one unit at a time, and it's the one he'll see first and he'll engage that unit. So that's going to be the shotgunner guy, and we'll see what happens there if I press play on the time bar. So you're seeing the shotgunner, he's closer, he's engaged the shotgunner, but by that time it's a bit too late because the assault rifle unit, if I play that again, has got the jump on me. Of course I should be aiming at the assault rifle guy first and take him out because he's the biggest threat. So I mentioned that the targeting command can be used to draw your own zones like so, or target specific rooms simply by tapping on those rooms. But another feature that's quite useful is that you can actually target or focus on specific enemies. So as you may expect, I want to target the shotgunner there, switch it to ignore. So now my sniper will ignore that unit, and you can see the difference that makes. So if I preview this plan here, again both the shotgunner and the enemy sniper are going to run out there. My sniper's going to ignore the shotgunner and take out the assault rifle unit. Watch that again. Perfect. The shotgunner I can deal with on the next turn simply by aiming as normal or with a different unit on my squad. Of course this video is a little bit more about the advanced tactics and strategies in Frozen Synapse Prime. Actually becoming an advanced player or competitive gamer is relatively straightforward. The only real limits are pretty much your own creativity and deviousness. We've provided you with all the tools and the different commands, but the strategy is pretty much down to you. It's also just as much about the mind games between the two players, yourself and your opponent, as well as being inspired to anticipate and deceive them. So thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed this more of an in-depth look at the game, as well as some of the advanced strategies, commands and general gameplay as a whole. One of the main goals behind Frozen Synapse Prime for us has always been about giving players these really easy to use tools, yet complete control and freedom over the strategy you can create, combining these different commands with the strengths or the weaknesses of your team, as well as the terrain around you. Frozen Synapse Prime isn't about the randomness of who will win in any given firefight between two units or two squads. It's totally down to you and your tactics. And of course, as mentioned previously, along with an infinite number of procedurally generated maps, or the ability to customise your own maps, customisable squads, rules, and all the different multiplayer match types on offer, no match is ever going to be the same. So please check out all our other videos and articles that we've posted, and stay tuned for more in the future.
You are victorious.